Hello artists! Today we are going to make a two-color paper tile that is inspired by Islamic art. So I have an example here of two, right? Here's two colors, two-color pattern, right? We're using patterns, we're using shapes, right? So these are going to include shapes. It's all about pattern. I don't know, these are laminated, so they may have a bit of a glare, okay? But as you can see, also, they are opposites, okay? So they're kind of transposed, and I'm gonna show you how to do that further on. So just a little history. Islamic art reflects the beliefs, culture, and traditions of Islam. Typically, Islamic art focuses on the depiction of calligraphy, which is fancy lettering, and interlacing patterns, okay? So I'm going to give you some examples of those in the lesson plan, some photos. And one of the things that you will not see in Islamic art are people, okay? Their art, it does not include people. Let's see. So it does include Arab, Turkish, and Persian traditions, and they are very often all about the infinite pattern, or the pattern that never ends. Okay, so in order to get started, I just wanted to if you didn't know how to do this already, and this works really well for origami, if you're at home and you're trying to make your own origami paper out of copy paper or whatnot. Oftentimes with origami, you need a perfect square. And in order to do that, simply, you can take a corner on your piece of paper, and if you are careful, right, and you fold it nice and neat, right, and really crease it with your finger like this, you can take your scissors and you can carefully cut along that edge. Some of you may have a paper cutter at home. You may have some crafty tools, and that's okay too. But if you're ever stuck somewhere and you need to make yourself a perfect square, then this is how you do it. Okay, so I already have some pre-made squares, and for mine, I'm using some construction paper that I just happen to have at my house. If you don't have construction paper, you can also take your crayons or something else and color some white paper to make the colored paper. Now for mine, I have two pieces of each color, and I'll show you why later. All right, so we're just gonna start out. Anybody know why I chose these colors? Yellow and purple. Let me just throw this in here real quick. So I know you guys have seen this before, the color wheel. And when you're looking at the color wheel and you're trying to choose colors that are gonna look good together, right? You can kind of go around and you can see, I don't know if you can see this one. I'm gonna post this one in the lesson too, but it also talks about color groups, right? And color schemes. And the one that I chose for this first one is violet and yellow. I'll be honest, mine's a little more red violet, but I didn't have any violet at home in my scrap box. So I'm using red, violet, and yellow. And one of the reasons why I'm doing that is that they are complementary colors. They make each other look better and brighter when they are near each other, right? And they also provide a nice contrast. The yellow is a bright color, okay? And it's going to show up very nicely on the purple. So here we go. I'm going to put these aside. For this, I'm going to need one of the papers. I'm going to need scissors. I'm going to need a pencil. And I will be needing some glue stick or white glue. I'll leave that up there. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to take our paper and we are going to fold it. This is called a book fold. Okay, we're gonna fold it in half and we're gonna crease it, right? We wanna make sure as much as possible that our corners line up, right? Crease it good. And then we're gonna do another book fold, okay? That's the flat side to the flat side. Book folds, here we go. There. Now, construction paper is a little thicker than copy paper, so sometimes it's more difficult to fold, and sometimes it's more difficult to cut. All right, so now we have our folded paper. We need to make sure that we keep track of where the middle of the paper is, okay? This part is open, 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 open. This other corner down here is the middle of the paper. And what we're gonna do, sometimes I like to draw dots and sometimes I don't. So if you wanted to, you could make a little dot. Wait, we're making three lines. I'm gonna move that one down a little bit. So if I divide it, if I put one in the middle, one right here, and one in between right there. So I'm gonna be drawing 1, 2, 3 lines, and I'll have 4 sections. So now what we're gonna do is, and I just double check, right? Here's the open part. Here is the part that's closed. You'll know if it's not this way when you cut it, because all the pieces will fall apart, which may not, you know, we can fix those things. But so now we're going to draw a line from here to here. And we're not just going to draw it straight across, although we could, but this is fancy. We want this to be fancy and interesting for our eyeballs. So I'm going to draw a line like that. The one thing that you want to really remember is that whatever line you draw, you have to cut out. So if you were to make like some kind of crazy zigzaggy line, it wouldn't work out very well for you later when you actually have to cut that line out with scissors. So we won't be making any loops or anything like that, because then that makes it difficult to cut out as well. So for this one, I think I will make kind of a zigzag, but I'm gonna make it, that's not very even, but that's okay. We'll just see how it turns out. So, and then this one I will come up, right? I'm kind of trying to make it symmetrical. It's not working out terribly good for me for this one, but anyway, trying to make it fairly symmetrical. The important part is, right, that it's gonna end at the same spot on either side. So here we go. I'm gonna pick up my pencil. Children, do you see what remote learning is doing to me? Okay, I'm gonna pick up my scissors and I'm going to ever so carefully. Now notice this too. When I cut this out, I have, I'm putting this paper down into the craw of my scissors. If I don't want to turn and go this way, I can always come back from this direction and meet it on the other side. But when you try to do this, especially with construction paper, and you're trying to take little snips, it just doesn't seem to work as well, at least not for me. Ooh. So these are our pieces that we cut out. I can see the pencil on all of them. So when I unfold them, okay, let's see. So here's one. And here's two. Let's see. And 3, they all kind of fit inside each other like little puzzle pieces. And 4, there we go. So there, they all fit together. I'm going to get another piece. Okay, this is my purple, my red violet, if you will. And then I'm going to choose. I have 2 choices. I could, see, I have 2 pieces right here. I could take this and put this one right here, and then I can take the next one and put it over here. Take this one, put it inside, and then take this one and put it inside. So that actually gives you, this is a 2-color tile, 2-color paper tile. And it kind of does the exact same thing that my other tile did, which is they're opposites, okay? And then what I would do is I would take my glue, And sometimes I like to put the glue on the back of the paper that I'm gluing down. But for this one, I think I'm just going to put some glue on here and don't go crazy with the glue. All right, and then I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna line it up. Hopefully I cut them. Ooh, come on, you. There we go. Oh, nope, that one's quite a bit bigger. Oh, let's try it this way. Maybe I did it. It's supposed to be a square, but you know, sometimes those things happen. Here we go. Now, I put more glue on there than I needed, but it will dry. So I'm gonna kind of run my fingers around and make sure that this glue is kind of glued down and all my little flaps are secure. And then I'm gonna take this little piece. Now, I don't have to, if I don't want to, I don't have to put it exactly in the same position it came from. If I wanted to, I could turn it. If I think it looks nicer that way, I could certainly do that. So on this one, I'm going to just kind of, don't need a lot of glue. Let's see, I think it will put it the way it was though. I'm gonna try to line it up a little bit before I, ooh, I just bumped the camera with my head. I'm gonna put this down right here. Ooh. There we go. Okay, so there's one. That looks pretty good. Now, I do have some fancier examples. I'm going to be doing another video for those of you who, you know, you make this one, you're like, yeah, that's nice, but I really think I could take this a little farther, right? Because that's what artists do. We try things and then we say, how could I make this different? How could I challenge myself? Okay, if there are any little pieces that kind of flap up and don't get glued down, you can always come back in, right? And just kind of make sure that they're all glued. And then this piece went right in the middle. So I'm gonna put some glue right here. Boop, boop, boop. Right, I'm gonna try to line it up a little bit. Try to make sure it's as straight as I can get it. And, whoo, and there we go. So now, right, we have 2 paper tiles. They use pattern, right, which is one of our principles of art, along with contrast, right? Contrast being something being different, light or dark, right, than something else. Something, yeah, okay. Let's see. So I did have an example of a 3-color tile that I wanted to show you, right? So this is a 3-color tile. I just have the one, but when you cut all these pieces out, you may have extras. When you just do, if you do something like this, it uses all the pieces. But if you're cutting 2 or 3 colors, you're gonna have extra pieces and you'll have choices about what it is that you want to put down on the paper. So go ahead, get your materials, get started. I'm gonna make another video for some extensions, right? And some challenges that you can do for yourself if you are ready. All right, let's get started.